Welcome, Atul. So,
Yeah.
Atul, you qualified UGC NET in paper code 55 for assistant professor. So, congratulations for that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
So, Atul, how's everything going on?
Yeah, it feels great to qualify an exam of national level, and because it was one of my biggest aspirations so far. Cracking an exam and making your family, your parents proud, and proving yourself, at least for yourself and for your family. So it is something that makes you feel very good.
Yeah, good. And so, Atul, tell us something about yourself, your background or academics, anything you want to share.
Yes, ma'am. So I basically belong to Muzaffarnagar, in the western part of Uttar Pradesh. I studied, my schooling was from very vernacular medium. So I was a student of Hindi medium, where such exams and everything was not uh, understood to be a cup of tea of a student like me. Then I did my graduation. I did BBA as my graduation. Then I did MBA. Everything was done in my own city. So after when I was preparing for the final semester exams, I got an opportunity to meet some of the people who cracked this exam. So that is why that was the point when it came to my mind. Okay, this is the exam, and it is a national level exam, and I got some discussions with them. Okay, what would be the outcome of cracking this exam and all. So that's where it came into my mind. After that, I started preparing for some of the government exams like IBPS and all. Uh, I missed by whisker. In most of the exams, I was missing by 1 mark or 2 mark. So for like 2 years, it was the pattern, but I could not crack at the end. Finally, I stopped preparing for the exams, and I joined corporate. Uh, I started working with Aon Hewitt Associates as HR operations executive. But when students like me, when something comes to their mind that okay, we can do something special, or we can crack an exam, or we should crack an exam. So it kept on going day by day, and it became like a passion. Okay, I have to crack one exam. Then I started working with another IT firm, Nuclear Software Exports Limited. I did their business analyst program, and I was absorbed by the training and development wing over there. So when I started working in the training and development, so my passion towards teaching that went very high, and I thought that okay, I should start preparing, and I should make my career in teaching only, teaching and research, because in training and development, so instructional designing patterns were followed. So while these patterns were followed, we were designing a training program and all. So HR comes into the picture, and some sort of research was also done by us. So that is why I thought, okay, this is the exam that suits my profile. This is the exam that would help me get my career into the teaching and all. So that's when I started preparing full-fledged. And you won't believe, when I first got my salary from Nuclear Software, the first thing that I did was to purchase your content, the study material of Human Peritus. So since then, I was preparing, but I was not devoting enough time. And in my initial attempt, I could not even fully read the booklets that were provided by Human Peritus. So I could only score 150 out of 300. But yes, I somewhere knew that I can crack this exam. In my next attempt, when COVID was there and I had to work from home, so I was getting a little more time, and by devoting more time, I reached to the score of 170 out of 300. But still, I was like 14 marks behind cutoff. So that was the problem. Then I in my third attempt, I put in everything. I was working very hard in my job also. I was putting in every second to my preparation. But this time, what was the change in my strategy was, uh, in previous attempts, I was not even completing the tests that were provided by the Human Peritus, and not only test, but I was not even completing the like booklets. This time, because the syllabus is very vast, and you cannot predict a particular question that it is going to like appear in the exam. Every single topic you need to cover. So I completed all the booklets. I read them twice, thrice. So multiple times I've gone through them, and the test platform that really helped me very well. In code number 55 HRM, the labor laws are the key, and you cannot prepare them without appearing in the test platform provided by the Human Peritus. So I appeared for those tests. I gave the mock test like 4 times, 5 times for a particular act. So I think that helped me very much. So this was the whole story of cracking this exam.
So Atul, you also like posted somewhere. So how can you see both of the jobs? Like teaching is a different field, and earlier you were in corporate sector. So how can you differentiate both? Like some people are in corporate sector who are preparing for UGC NET. So any advice, any tips you can give to them, or like what difference you feel like after UGC NET, what will be your scope, and it's different from your corporate job?
See, corporate jobs are because after completing my MBA, or the aspirants like me who have completed their BTech or MBA and or completed the MBA after BTech. So everyone is working in the middle level management or starts with the lower level management. So in corporate, if you want to prepare for the UGC NET exam and you are working, so the first thing is you should be having a clear idea whether you want to be in teaching or research or not. If this is clear to you, then obviously you will start learning the things from your work also. So I will give an example. So I was working with the training and development. So I was executing those principles, those theories that I was studying in my preparation. I was doing it in actually also. My first approach was I used to study the topics that I was studying in the booklets, and I was executing them in my real life, in my job also. So I used to clear the concepts through them as well. So like instructional designing is there, training and development is there. So these were the topics I was studying there, and I was closely observing how the organization works. So that really helped me understand the concepts. Most of the candidates find these theories and all very boring or very exhausting. So I enjoyed everything because I was observing, okay, this theory is there, where I can see the real life examples in the organizational setup. So that is why I started enjoying my preparation. And as far as teaching and corporate jobs are concerned, teaching is something I find more impactful. If our society is concerned, if our economy is concerned, I find teaching more purposeful. Corporate jobs are also very good, but you cannot like impact the society or give something directly to the society. So I always wanted to do something, because when I used to deliver the trainings in my job, so I used to think like, okay, this is for the corporate's point of view, this is for the organizational benefit. But if I get into the teaching, if I get into the formal teaching, I can do it for the society as well. So this was the thing that was in my mind, and that is how I started focusing upon UGC NET and all.
And Atul, I guess your corporate sector experience in training and development and other fields that helps you to make students understand. When you start teaching in university, that actually helps you to make students understand how corporate sector job look like, right?
If someone is preparing for code number 55 HRM, and he or she is also working in the corporate, so I think one should relate their study material or their concepts to their job and their working. So that's what happens. They will get things easily, and their mind starts getting everything very like casually. So they will not have to put in something extra to understand the things.
So Atul, any time management tips for students, like how to manage the time for paper 1 and paper 2, how to divide? Please share.
If my personal strategy is concerned, I had not any particular like timetable or something, because whenever I used to get time, I would be studying. So that was my strategy, but I would not advise to future aspirants to follow that. But yes, I would suggest that rather than late night study in the morning. Early morning study would help, because in my last attempt, I studied early mornings. So like I would wake up at 4, study till 6, 7. Then I would have my daily routine, and then after having my job completed in the evening also I would study. So yes, you need 4 to 5 hours daily if you are a serious candidate, and early morning study would help. You should avoid some things, some sacrifices are required, because candidates who are working, they are not having enough leisure time. So you need to customize your lifestyle as well. So those things were focused by me. I would avoid going outside. I would avoid having junk foods and all, because you need to focus and you need to be healthy. So these things should also be focused, because it is a national level exam. You have a lot of competition. So if you start changing your life and customizing your life from the day one itself, so don't take it as the preparation only. You are the future professors, so you need to set example in the society. So I did that, and you know the results.
Basically, you follow some of your hobby part, and you also studied well. You also do your hard work too. Yeah. So Atul, many students take paper 1 for granted. They don't even study for 20 days, right? So any tips for those students, like they should, for how much days they should study for paper 1, or what time to give?
So as per my experience, paper 1 is a trap. As you have rightly said, most of the people think that, okay, this is an easy paper. If we devote lesser time to paper 1, we will still manage to qualify the exam. But that is the trap where the most of the students get stuck. Paper 1 is the most important aspect of this exam, because paper 1 is scoring. And yes, if you clear your concepts well, if you prepare paper 1 very well, you can get 70-80 marks also. This time paper 1 was considered tough. In the student community, there was a lot of buzz that paper 1 was very tough. But I also wanted to score like 70-74 marks. But still, with me, there was a problem. I was continuously scoring 62. And this time when exam was tough, I again scored 62. So that I think is also a good score. But yes, I personally feel that scoring 70 or 68, 70 or 74 marks, it is easy to score scoring in the paper first rather than scoring in paper second, because in paper second there is a lot of syllabus, and paper 1 is very specific. If you prepare well, then you can score very well in the paper 1. So I would advise to the future candidates that focus more on paper 1. at least equal to paper 2.
You qualified UGC NET, so how's everyone in your family? How's they are feeling?
Yes, getting a lot of attention. Family is very happy. Parents are feeling proud. And yes, I myself feel like, okay, the hard work has been paid off.
So Atul, at last, any tips, like in few lines, you want to suggest to future aspirants? Anything like?
So my preparation strategy was based on 4R that I would suggest to each and every candidate. It was read, write, recite, and read, write, recite, and revise. So first of all, I read everything, every theory, every concept, every law I studied. It was a for normal reading, because once you read it like a story, you start enjoying things. So in first reading, I read it like a story. Then I used to write it, like if I would take an example of models of HR are there. So models of HR are very important. So I would write them. I would write them once, twice, thrice. The number as much times as many times as you are comfortable. So this will prepare a foundation for the for further preparation. Then I would try to recite everything, and I would then in the fourth step I would repeat everything again and again. So I followed 4 R's. I would suggest each and every candidate that follow these principles and write everything, because I'm an average student. My memory, I personally feel that I'm not very sharp in memory. I cannot remember things very so many candidates are there who can learn easily. I can't do that. So I have to write everything. I write everything again and again. So this is the basic thing that I would suggest. And the most important suggestion that I can give is, if you are preparing with Human Peritus, don't take the question banks and test platform casually. If you give every mock test seriously, if you read the explanations given in the question bank seriously, so then only you can be able to get success in the exam. So this is what I would like to suggest to the future candidates, ma'am.
So yeah, basically hard work and practice that can make a man, women perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you, Atul. Thanks for your precious time. Thank you so much, and all the best for your future.